Do you feel like you're doing the right things, but the fat loss just isn't happening? You're not alone. And in today's episode, I'm going to walk you through the 3 most common mistakes that I see people making that are slowing down or maybe even completely eliminating any signs of progress. I'm going to talk about why snacking is sneakier than you think, why movement outside of your workout is non-negotiable, and how the weekend could be doing all of your weekday progress. This episode is going to help you cut the fluff and really take control of your fat loss goals. All right, today we are going to basically eliminate the frustration that you've been having. I coach tons of people, and I would say about 75% of people have the goal of toning up, which essentially means losing fat, maybe building a little bit of muscle, or at least losing fat and maintaining the muscle that they want to have. And so oftentimes, people are very frustrated because they feel like they're doing the right things. They feel like, man, I'm working out 3 days a week, 4 days a week, 5 days a week, maybe even 6 days a week. And I feel like I'm doing pretty good with my nutrition, but I'm still not seeing the results that I want to see. And when you really dive down and you really ask questions and you have experience like I do of 8+ years of coaching thousands and thousands of people, you have an idea of what some of those reasons might be. And today I'm going to dive into the 3 most common mistakes that I really see in my 10-week transformation clients, and might be the case for you. And some of you right now who are listening are in the 10-week transformation. Some of you, a lot of you, most of you are not, but you want to make sure that you analyze these things and be honest with yourself, because I think a lot of times we are making these mistakes, but kind of unconsciously. And so today I want to put a pulse on them, make you aware of them, because self-awareness is critical so that you can actually make the improvements that you want to make. I also mentioned it, but the Fat Loss Forever workshop is for people who want to learn a little bit more, people who want to feel confident and empowered. If you're listening to this episode, this Fat Loss Forever workshop is for you, and we do it once every 10-week transformation. And the next one is this Monday, May 19th. At 5 p.m. Central Time. You can always sign up for this one or upcoming ones at nickcarrier.com/fatloss. So if you're frustrated, if you want to be educated and feel empowered and not confused about what you should eat and how much, then go to nickcarrier.com/fatloss and join us on that virtual free workshop. Okay, let's talk about these mistakes. Number 1 is snacking. I legitimately think that if most people simply did this one thing, that they would see progress on the scale or progress with their fat loss goals, because the scale doesn't tell the whole story. And that is just eat 3 meals a day. That's just stop snacking. And it's so much easier said than done, right? Most things with fat loss are, but so many of us mid-morning get a hankering and we need something to eat. So many of us in mid-afternoon, whether it's because we're tired, whether it's because we get hungry, whether it's because we're just bored or mindlessly reaching for something, we're snacking in the afternoons. And then how many of us either mindlessly eat on the couch when we're watching Netflix or something like that after dinner while we're winding down, or maybe we just consciously do it. And so there's so many times throughout the day, or we go to an event and there's a charcuterie board like I did last night, or we go something and somebody offers us something. There's plentiful opportunities to be having calories outside of our planned meals, our breakfast, lunch, and dinner throughout the day. And sometimes it's not that big of a deal, depending on how much you're indulging, but oftentimes it is. Because if you think about it this way, in order to see fat loss, you want to be in a caloric deficit daily of about 300 to 600 calories per day, so that over the course of a week, you're somewhere around 2,500 to 4,000 calorie deficit for the week. And so if you just think about it from the day, so many snacks are 200 to 300 calories. And so if you just have one snack, that might throw you out of a calorie deficit. If you have 2 snacks, it might definitely throw you out of a calorie deficit. It just depends on how intentional you're being with your portion sizes during your actual meals. And so regardless of whether or not a snack might be healthy, sometimes it might be too calorically dense. So for example, nuts, great snack, but all it takes is a few handfuls of nuts to potentially throw you out of a caloric deficit. And so there's just things like this that add up slowly but surely and are preventing you from seeing any kind of fat loss goals. And I coach a ton of parents of young kids, of kids who are all ages, but especially 15 and under, 12 and under, 10 and under. And how many of you guys have crap in your pantry? Have Gushers, have Cheez-Its, have Goldfish, have pretzels, things that I used to have growing up. Loved them growing up. Probably haven't had them maybe since college. because I have tried to shift the mindset of that's kid food. That's not for me. And honestly, I would probably love those foods. I would probably enjoy them, but they'd probably make me feel like crap. And so we oftentimes reach for those salty foods, maybe sweet foods, and really easily throw ourselves out of a caloric deficit. So mistake number one is snacking. And the antithesis to that mistake would be simply sticking to your 3 planned meals throughout the day. If you have to snack, that's fine. Snack once. Do it in a way that doesn't throw you out of a calorie deficit. Make it healthy. Make it so that it curbs your hunger for the time that it is, and maybe has a little bit of protein, maybe a little bit of fiber. So that's mistake number one. Mistake number two is so many people think that if they just get their workout in, they're good. They think that working out is enough physical activity for the day. And for the most part, it's not. It is definitely not. No matter what kind of workout you're doing, you might be burning anywhere between 200 to 600 calories during your workout, whether that's a 30 to a 60-minute workout. Now, if you're going to run for 2 hours or working out hard for 2 hours, and of course, that's going to make a pretty good difference. But for those of us who are mainly working out 30 minutes, 45 minutes, 60 minutes, you're going to be burning anywhere from 200 to 600 calories, and that's just not going to do it when it comes to the level of activity that you need to have in order to hit your fat loss goals. It's funny, actually, one of my 10WT Elite clients recently, we were talking during a workout, and he was talking about how he was recently at his farm, and I think he got like a 25,000 steps in easily. Just kind of, he wasn't doing crazy amounts of manual labor, but he was moving things around, doing a little bit of manual labor, but just moving about his farm and his property. And so he easily got 25,000 steps, and it wasn't something that he had to consciously think of. He just looked at his watch at the end of the day, and he was like, damn, I'm at 25,000 steps. And we talked about how, people back in the day, they probably would have laughed at the fact that somebody else have goals to hit 10,000 steps a day. And look, I'm in that camp, but a lot of times my goal is to get 10,000 steps a day. And it's kind of funny because they probably got that so easily. But my call to action for you is 10,000 steps really isn't that hard if you're committed to it. Most people I coach are somewhat active on a regular basis, and all it might take is going out for an additional 20 minutes or 30 minutes or 40 minutes to hit that 10,000 steps a day. Because if you walk for, let's say, 30 minutes, you might get anywhere from 2,000 to 2,500 steps in. And a lot of people are around that 7,000 to 8,000 steps. So you go out for a 30-minute walk, boom, you got your 10,000 steps. That will go a long way when done consistently. It's absolutely critical because of what's called NEAT, your non-exercise activity thermogenesis. We overestimate the importance of our physical activity with our planned workouts, and we underestimate the importance of our physical activity outside of our planned workouts when it comes to the role that it plays with our fat loss. So make sure you build movement into your life, not just the gym. You could tie walks to your breakfast, lunch, or dinner before or after. You could tie it into phone calls. You could tie it into winding down with your significant other by going on a little walk around your neighborhood. However you can do it, I would really encourage you to build it into your routine. Before I dive into the third and final mistake that is probably haunting most of you, if you're really being honest with yourself, I just want to remind you that the Fat Loss Forever workshop is something that I'm super passionate about, because when I learned this information, I felt so much more confident. I felt so much more empowered. Like, okay, if I ever have the goal to lose body fat, I know how to do it. And when you have the knowledge of the know-how, then it takes sitting down and creating a plan to do it. And I want to be able to empower you and make you more confident and give you the know-how with the Fat Loss Forever workshop. So join this free virtual workshop. It's free, you guys. Go to nickcarrier.com/fatloss and join us completely for free. You'll hop on a Zoom call with me and others, and you can ask questions as well. So I'm really excited to do this next one Monday, May 19th at 5 p.m. Central Time. Go to nickcarrier.com/fatloss to attend. Mistake number 3, again, for most of us, if we're honest with ourselves, this is getting in the way. And this mistake is letting loose too much on the weekends. So again, let's go back to the caloric deficit that is needed in order to see fat loss. If you're in about a 400 calorie deficit per day, which is a pretty good calorie deficit in order to see fat loss, and you do that over the 5 weekdays, 400 times 5, putting myself on the spot, 2,000 calories. So that's a 2,000 caloric deficit over the course of a week, which is maybe a little bit, just just a little under what you would want to see, because you would want to see maybe about 2,500 to about 4,000 calorie deficit per week in order to reliably see fat loss. And so you're pretty close at 2,000, but then the weekend hits. And so if you just stay at calorie neutral, then you might not see any results. But if you just go over by have too much pizza, too much queso, too much alcohol, too much, you name it, French fries, chips, you're going to stall your progress and you're going to be so frustrated. It's not that you have to be perfect on the weekends, but you have to find a way to rein it in. You have to find a way to fit some of the fun foods in. Maybe you do a little bit of extra exercise. Maybe you just decrease the portion size of the fun foods. That's what I would really encourage most people to do. Just decrease the portion size of the fun foods. Instead of having 4 slices of pizza, have 2. Instead of having 4 slices of pizza, have 2 slices of pizza and a salad on the side. I think you would find it much easier if you would just decrease the portion sizes of some of these foods that will easily throw you in a calorie deficit. And look, this 100% used to be me and still is me oftentimes. Luckily, I don't have a fat loss goal right now. I'm just maintaining. But anytime on a fat loss goal, it is hard because you feel like you're making progress during the week. You feel good. You feel lighter. You feel fresher. You feel more fit. And then you overindulge on the weekends and you feel like you're starting over again Monday morning. And that is so frustrating. I remember that so well a number of years ago. And again, I still remember it today when I wake up Monday feeling frustrated, or I go to bed Sunday night like, gosh, dang it, why wasn't I more disciplined on this weekend? So I totally relate. I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying that this is so many of our issues. And so if you're serious about your fat loss goals, we got to find a way to be strategic over the weekends so that you can have fun, but not overindulge too much to completely throw you out of a calorie deficit, therefore eradicating and preventing any kind of progress. So I hope you guys, these are things that you might have already known, but I hope you are more attuned to some of your habits, more attuned to your snacking habits, more attuned to what kind of physical activity are you getting? Are you just relying on your workouts and kind of sitting on your butt the rest of the day? And are you truly overindulging on the weekends? I hope it makes you more mindful of your habits, of your activity, and therefore if it makes you feel more empowered. It's like, yeah, you know what, he's right. I am snacking too much, or I am too much overindulging on the weekends. And then all you got to do is create a plan and be like, okay, if I'm not going to snack anymore, or maybe I'm going to snack 3 days a week, and I'm going to track it. I'm going to write it down. I'm going to snack 3 days this week. And maybe I know that Monday I really need to snack because Mondays are tough and I just don't feel great on Mondays. And maybe Thursdays and Fridays I really need to snack for whatever reason. And so maybe you plan those days are your snacking days, and you plan what snacks you're going to have those days, and you bring them to work with you and you have them on hand so that when that hunger pang comes, you got something on hand. And so it takes acknowledging what might be your mistake, coming up with a plan, and then boom, let's execute. If you feel like you need help in that execution and getting over the finish line with it, then obviously I'd love to coach you in the 10-week transformation as well. I hope you guys enjoyed today. I hope you enjoyed, I don't know how much you would enjoy being made aware of the habits that are holding you back. So maybe you didn't enjoy today, but maybe you feel more empowered today. Maybe you feel more confident today in order to get closer to the healthiest version of yourself. And ultimately, I hope today makes you feel more confident in your ability to get closer and closer to your best you.